For today's GTA Online video, I'll be showing you all of the best money methods this week. From the event week, we got a lot of things with bonus money, and with some luck, you can use these things to make a nice amount of cash this week. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and let's dive straight into it. So as per usual with these type of videos, I always start with the weekly reward first. This week, you will need to win 2 races to get that really nice $100,000. Alongside this, you will also get a clothing unlock. In this case, I did try and test if you could do this completely solo, so I did go ahead and start a race. I did eventually get around to completing 2 of them, and unfortunately this will not complete or even contribute to the weekly challenge. So probably the best way to do this is to take turns with a friend or a random player. That will definitely be the easiest possible way to complete this. And for that special clothing unlock attached to the weekly challenge, I would probably say it is worthwhile. It is only 2 races, and you could probably just select one of the shortest races. At this point, we now can finally get into the actual things with bonus money, and we will be starting things off really strong because we have a 4 times bonus for cash and RP on land races. And this one is kind of tied in to that weekly challenge where you need to win 2 races, so it might give you guys just a little bit more incentive to play this. And hopefully this is kind of obvious, but a 4 times bonus is genuinely really nice no matter what it's on. And to actually show you guys just how good this is, I will be starting a land race and completing it solo. However, just before we get there, I do want to show you guys how you can find these land races very quickly. So once you get into the races tab, you can actually see this button prompt, and then if you press it down when it says land races, you'll then get the entire list, so potentially just saving you a lot of time. I started this land race and I tried to complete it as fast as I possibly could. This specific one took me 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and for this amount of time you will actually see the payout was genuinely quite nice at a reasonable $17,000. Another highlight as well will be the RP. Obviously this video is focusing on money, but still a pretty nice amount as well. So now just imagine if you guys played this with friends or even just a ton of random players, and then maybe you even managed to win the race. The payout that you would probably get would be so nice. And then of course, even if you guys play solo like myself, it is still not an entirely bad way to make cash. There is of course a lot more better methods that you could do, but still not bad for maybe a starter method. Onto this next bonus, we had the community series with triple money and RP, so another really solid bonus. To go ahead and find these community series, just press the pause button, go over to the online tab, select jobs and community jobs. When you look through here, you will eventually see them with the triple money and RP, and as a matter of fact, I believe Rockstar did remove all of the other ones and only kept the ones with bonuses in the game. In the gameplay, I selected this one, which is called the Octagon, a pretty nice stunt race, all things considered. And just like before, I did this one solo, and you will see the payout I got was only $11,000 for about the same time as the land race. So hopefully that already goes to show that the land races will be a lot better, but still community series will be really nice and fun. I definitely think that they are a little bit more enjoyable. Next up, we have the auto shop client jobs with just a pretty standard double money and RP. Now there's some really nice detail that I can go into on these auto shop client jobs. First of all, the first thing that you actually need to do is purchase the auto shop, which is really obvious. And with the auto shop, you can actually decide if you want to upgrade it, and this will directly impact how these auto shop client jobs work. I completely forgot to actually mention what these are, if you guys did not know. Essentially, a customer will deliver a vehicle inside your auto shop. You can then fully spec out the customer's car with some certain specs, deliver it back to the customer for a price. You then get the money back that you spent on the upgrades and a payment on top. So honestly, I don't think it's too bad. The only limiting factor of the auto shop's client jobs will be how often these vehicles get delivered inside the auto shop, and this is where this really nice piece of information comes in. This is a really nice breakdown of how it all works. So if only one customer lift is installed in your auto shop, there will be at least one in-game day, which is 48 minutes, before there is then a 50% chance that the next vehicle can arrive. And then if this vehicle does not arrive after the first day, another day will elapse before another 50% chance. And then if this second chance does not spawn a vehicle, there is then a further random 0 to 10 minute timer to spawn a car with a 100% chance. So at some point you are pretty much guaranteed a car to spawn. Once again, kind of obvious. So that is really how these vehicles spawn in. But on top of this, you can actually make them spawn just a little bit faster, because if you install 2 car lifts, all of these timers are halved, meaning every 24 minutes you will have this 50% chance since the previous car arrived. So hopefully that makes some sort of sense. I probably explained it a little bit strange. It makes sense in my mind, but yeah, maybe if you guys were confused, Hopefully you have read this for yourself and made more sense of it. It is honestly not bad if you have 2 car lifts. In terms of the payout for the vehicles, I did in fact complete this client job, and this is one of the top tier vehicles that you can get. After following these specifications, I then had to pay a one-off fee of $50,000, which you get back, and once the delivery was complete, this got me a total of $110,000. So for the top tier vehicles, this is really nice, but for the most part, you are getting medium range vehicles and low tier vehicles, getting you between $60,000 and potentially $80,000. Still, this could be a pretty nice money method to do if you play GTA Online a lot this week. Another one of the money methods that we got in this event was relatively similar to these auto shop client jobs, and this was on the tow truck services. First of all, the tow truck services can only be completed by purchasing the tow truck for the salvage yard. Luckily with this event, they do have a 30% off. Now at first, I was honestly a little bit skeptical about the tow truck service. I have not really researched this in great detail until now, and after actually looking through this and finding some information, these things are actually kind of good, and it really comes down to the safe inside the salvage yard. So you guys will see on screen, every time you tow a vehicle, you will get between $30,000 and $40,000 without bonus money, but this will actually add a 25% increase to an invisible popularity meter, and this will determine how much passive income you get in the salvage yard. Unfortunately, this will cap out at $24,000, and this will in fact decline 10% each time you are paid from this safe, which is every 48 minutes. So as long as you guys are constantly doing a tow truck service, maybe 2 of them every 48 minutes, the salvage yard safe will actually be a pretty nice way to make some extra cash on top of the money you are already making from the salvage yard through the tow truck. And of course, you can purchase the extra staff members to salvage these vehicles just a little bit faster. I did of course complete a tow truck service, and eventually after waiting around, this got me $80,000, so a really nice payout, and just having this contribute towards the safe inside is a really nice touch as well. The only real downside that I see here is that you can only source 2 salvage yard vehicles at once, and there is in fact a very short cooldown between salvaging. But if we think back to the safe income and how that is every 48 minutes before the 10% decline, sourcing only 2 vehicles in 48 minutes is still really good, and it is all you really need to max the safe. And after looking into this more, I do actually think it is a pretty nice money method. It is by no means the best thing to do, but maybe if you guys get bored of everything else and you have this salvage yard, it might be a good option. At this point in the video, we are now finished with everything that had bonus money, but there is actually one more thing that I wanted to mention, and that is some discounts, specifically some business discounts. We can see on screen that we had the 30% off the bunker properties, the cocaine lockup, and the nightclub properties, and of course I have already mentioned the salvage yard as well. So this week will be an ideal time to pick up some of these different things, specifically the bunker and the nightclub. Although these things will not have bonus money apart from the salvage yard's tow truck, they can still make you some really nice cash regardless. The next method that we need to cover will be the FIB Priority File. With the new event week, this has now refreshed, so any of you guys with the Garment Factory can now go ahead and play through this file. For this week, it will be the Brute Force file, which in my opinion is the worst file. However, for this payout, I still think it is worth playing, and the fact that you can do this all solo is probably one of the best things about these FIB files. And if you guys can be bothered, I would also suggest completing these bonus challenges. In fact, I would always recommend that you do this, at least try and do them, and then if you do manage to complete all 3, you will get a bonus $50,000. Another method that you can also do relates back to the salvage yard, because we do have the new salvage yard robberies. For this week, things are a little bit strange because we do have 2 claimable vehicles, and you really have the choice if you guys want to claim them or not. Now with this being a money method video, you could of course just sell the vehicles and make roughly $300,000 or more. However, because they are claimable, they are pretty rare, and as you will see on screen, we have the Drift Yosemite with the Las Venturas vanity plate and the Karen Boar with the Liberty City vanity plate. I did in fact complete both of them, and because I do like these type of rare vehicles, I did go ahead and claim them both for $20,000. If you do not care about rare vehicles, or maybe you do not have the garage space, I would just recommend selling them to Yusuf and getting the most cash. One thing that disappointed me with the salvage yard robberies is that we do have the Bravado Buffalo STX, and honestly I really wish this one was claimable. The STX is an incredible car when you put on the Armani tech, so to see this one as just a standard tier vehicle and not a claimable one did kind of annoy me, but even still you can just sell this and make the cash instead. And now for the final money method, we have the time trials. As per usual, these things are really nice for some additional additional cash. We had a new premium race called 8-Figure Bonus. The standard time trial is called Maze Bank Arena, located over here, and the HSW time trial is Run Alternates to Elysian Island. Just make sure to complete these things before the new event week comes around, so that you do not miss out on potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. So now to really sum up this whole entire event with the different bonuses, I do actually think this event week is pretty nice. If you guys saw my event week video, I do in fact think that the discounts this week were probably the best options. There was a lot of vehicle discounts and even then property discounts that I showed you, but honestly, in terms of bonus money, after actually looking through these things, trying them out, and even researching the tow truck, I do genuinely think they are not too bad. And I do think the one that surprised me the most was probably the land races. With that 4 times bonus, it was kind of obvious that the payout would have been good, but even still, I did not expect to make around $17,000 completing the race as fast as possible and also solo. So in terms of money making potential, I do think land races might honestly be the best bet this week, especially if you guys play with other players. But if you guys are a more solo orientated player, things like the tow truck service, auto shop client jobs, and the standard money methods like the FIB Priority File and Salvage Robberies will probably be the best options. So yeah guys, that will be all the money methods in this video from the event. As usual, make sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think. Also leave a comment if you guys have any additional tips on any of these money methods. For example, maybe you guys have some different methods with the tow truck, or maybe you found something out with the auto shop client jobs. But anyways guys, if you went on to enjoy this video or found it useful in any way, shape or form, leave a like on this video. I always appreciate your support. And if you are new here and like what you see, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.